So pin hunting, this is the first time we've ever actually done very specific pin hunting. We've collected pins before, but this time we set out with a mission in mind, which we'll talk about why we made some mistakes at the end, but we're just going to talk about how it went first. We set out a mission in mind. We picked out one common character.
Yep.
And then we picked out one rare character.
Yep.
And weirdly enough, the rare characters were rather difficult, but
super difficult.
There are rarer characters that I considered that I saw more than the rare characters that I ended up picking. So my pick was Genie, and then I picked Gizmo Duck. I really loved Gizmo Duck in the Disney afternoons. If you don't know, he's from DuckTales.
DuckTales, woo!
And you picked?
I picked Ursula as my common, and then my backup was I wanted to throw a little Halloween fall into it, and I decided to do the Headless Horseman because I don't actually have any pens that have the Headless Horseman in it. We had just watched Ichabod and the Headless Horseman, so it was like fresh in my head, and I was like, he's got to be rare, and maybe he's not going to be like extremely hard to find. It's Halloween time still, and maybe we could find him. I had to ask for help.
Yeah, you did have to ask for help. It was a trek. So we used to live in Orlando, and we had a couple places that we'd like to go. There was a few right off of that main highway. What's the road again called with the wizard and stuff on it? 192. So there used to be a few shops off of 192. So we thought coming in, we'll probably check those out. And then we had heard of a new one that was supposed to be close to Disney. We found out it wasn't, though. And we thought about going there. And then we also thought we might try some of the flea markets too, because it was a Friday, so they would have been open too.
So we started by going into the generic tourist shops. They had the same kind of pens, and we're not 100% sure that those are real Disney pens. So we kind of also wanted to show you guys, like, this is what to look out for too when you're shopping for Disney pens. And I would say avoid the 192 tourist shops if you're looking for actual Disney trading pens. Now, if you find a pen and you love it, by all means, buy it. Like, I'm not telling you don't buy it. If you love it, it's your money. But those aren't going to probably be authentic Disney Parks pens.
Yeah, they had the Disney Park like backing to them, but they were somewhat weird. Like we found a security badge one. The designs were weird. And then we went to the actual like pen traders Disney Springs later, and they didn't have anything like any of the ones that we saw. So it was kind of weird, and it really does make me question whether they're real pens or not. And like, why would Disney want a security badge pen? I think that's really weird. So that's what kind of cued us into they're probably not real, but they want to make them look like they're real. So I definitely would be hesitant there. But we explored, and we found that the one that we used to go to was closed, which stunk, and we couldn't find anything else that was actually on it. It looked like all of them had closed on 192, which is sad. It really kind of stinks.
Yeah, and a lot of the flea markets are now mostly food truck areas too, which I think if we were in town for a little bit more time, I would definitely go back and fully explore the flea markets and see, because there used to be some pin resellers that would have pin setups in these flea markets, and they were legit. They were actual companies, and I don't know if since COVID what's happened to them. So we decided to leave the 192 area, and we went to the place that was supposed to be close to Disney, and that really wasn't. And that is the Pen HQ.
And before we move on to, we're not hating on the food truck things. That's how we found Tacos Magui, which is probably the best taco place you've ever been to. So no hate on the taco place. It's just it didn't have any pens.
Yeah, and we had a mission, and we had a very limited amount of time because we were going to go see Cirque du Soleil that night, and we needed to be back. So rather than continue to just keep getting out of the car and be disappointed, we decided to head over to a place that we knew would have pens, and we knew that they would have authentic pens. And we went to the Pen HQ.
And it's like 30 some odd minutes from Disney, so it's not really that close. You do get to go through some really nice neighborhoods to get there, though. But then when you actually find it, it's kind of in this little bit rundown area, kind of like a pre-gentrifying area is what it looks like, because it looks like they're trying to gentrify. Industrial. But yeah, it's very industrial.
So we got there, and I will say the staff was pretty nice. They were definitely trying to help us find what we needed.
If you're looking for a Disney-like theme, they're 100% behind it. When I asked to see if they had any Brave stuff, because the Braves used to have strength training there, they had no interest in looking for those, just so you know. So if you like Disney stuff, they're all for it. But the sort of niche off stuff, they're not going to look for.
Which is still a Disney pen. Like, it's still a Disney pen.
It is a Disney pen, because we got one.
It's just a little bit more niche-y, a little bit more rare. But they had thousands of pens.
Yeah, and it was overwhelming at times. I'm not gonna lie to you. We would be looking through these like panels of pens,
and you just go eye blind.
And my eye would just go eye blind, and we'd just be like looking, and I'm like, wait, I'm looking specifically for something.
What am I looking for again?
So Gizmo Duck, just in case you're ever wondering, is probably one of the hardest pens to find, and I did not know this going in. I know this now. Yeah. We've looked it up on eBay afterwards. We have one of the pens already, but there's probably only like 3 or 4 other pens that exist. And I'm not even sure if there's that many, but there's only like 3 or 4 pens. So it was very difficult. Genie, though, had a lot of cool Genie ones.
Yeah, there were some Genie ones that I was like, maybe we should get this one. Maybe we should get this one.
We saw an electrical light parade one.
Oh my God, it was so cool.
It was awesome. It was all the floats from the electrical light parade as pens, individual pens. Amazing. It was there $1,400. It was like $1,390 is what it really was.
It was a little expensive.
And what we noticed too, just a legit tip here, if you're going to buy pens and you're just going to buy pens, eBay is about 20% cheaper than the store is. So know that going inside. If you're just going to look, it's a great place to go look.
Yeah, we definitely burned a few hours. We literally combed through the store, and there were still a few sections that we did not go through. There was a binder thing kind of towards the front left hand that we didn't get a chance to really go through, and there was a back section in the back room. I think they mostly had lounge flies and stuff back there.
Yeah, it was mostly lounge flies. That wasn't pens back there.
But we didn't go back there and look at that half because, again, we were kind of on a time frame. But
lounge flies.
But I found so many cool Ursulas. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was like, do I want this one? Do I want that one? I did end up, I think, getting 2 Ursulas.
Mm-hmm. And you ended up with 2 Sleepy Hollow ones, too.
Yeah, I ended up with 2 Headless Horsemen. I did have to ask because, again, we kind of went, like, eye blind to...
Well, okay, fairness. One wasn't out.
Yeah.
So we didn't go eye blind. That we would have never saw the one that you actually bought with the really cool Headless Horseman on it. He wasn't even out. Mm-mm. So they have pens that are not even out. So if you're looking for specifically like a character, you definitely should ask.
Yes.
Because they do have some hidden ones too that I don't know why they're hidden. I just think they just haven't had a chance to display them yet is why it's hidden. I don't think it's like on purpose.
Yeah. And then the other one they did find for me. And the one thing I found about the Headless Horseman is he's not typically the focal point. He's usually just kind of hidden in the background.
Unless you find the Grail.
Yeah, which they did show us a Grail, which once again was just about as much as the lights one was, and we were like, if I'm gonna spend this kind of money, I'm gonna get the electrical parade one, not the Headless Horseman, because I mean I think he's cool, but I have other things that I want to spend money on before I do that. We did find a couple of like cute pens from like the 2000s that we ended up throwing in our little bucket. And yeah, we found a few like randoms that we were like, I like this one. And we threw it in there.
Yeah, on the like the $10, $15 wall, we found 2 2000s. And that's the year I graduated. Pens, one from Disneyland, one from Disney World. So we picked up those. We were trying to find a 2005 Valentine's Day one. Mm-hmm. I think it was there. We just probably went eye blind during one of the things. And we couldn't find that. And then we picked up a Braves one. And then we picked up... my Genie was a Imagineering pen, so I was like, that's really cool.
It's really cool.
And it's like showing them drawing him as a second piece. I love it. It was really nice. And then your Ursula was...
an After Dark trading one for 2024.
Which was absolutely gorgeous.
The color profile of it was just really cool. And honestly, I would go back there. I would. I think, I'm not sure how much their turnover is with pens. So if you are looking, because for us, the fun is in the hunt. We really enjoy the hunt of looking, whether it's for baseball cards, football cards, pens. We just enjoy the process of looking and finding maybe one little treasure here or there that we were just like, oh, that's so cool. I found it. So I'm not really sure how quick their turnover is, But I think at least every quarter, maybe you could go in there and check and see how frequently they change over, and probably find maybe a holy grail for you. Or they can also, I think they order pens. I think they have like their own people that come in there and they do consignment. So I do think they have a little bit more. So don't be afraid to ask if you do go there.
Definitely ask. A couple legit tips though from our planning this experience. If you want to do like we did, where you're searching for a specific character and kind of searching for it, even if you do this in the Disney parks, one of our legit tips is definitely set a price point.
Yeah, we did not set a price point.
We did not set a price point.
Because we weren't sure
what the price points would be, honestly. So mine ended up costing $90. I did find it on eBay for about $78. Yours, I think, was
like 75, 50 or 75, somewhere in that range.
And it was selling on eBay for about $50. So I think she paid about $70 for it.
And the rare one was also like $80. The headless horseman one that I got ended up being like $80, I think.
Yeah. So we probably wouldn't do it that way in the future. But how can I get the worst luck in picking Gizmo Duck? So I didn't actually find a Gizmo Duck because other than the Disney Afternoon one, which we already had, because that was last year and we picked that up, there was no Gizmo Ducks there. So I ended up compromising and getting a Darkwing Duck, and it's Darkwing versus Mega Duck, and it's like this video game one. Super cool. Yeah. Super neat looking pen. Love it. But I was kind of sad that I didn't have Gizmo Duck.
So I would definitely do this pen adventure again, and definitely, like you said, I would set a price point, and maybe I would look into what type of, maybe Google the character if it's a rare character, and just kind of see how many pens they actually have in production.
Do a little like research, yes.
And that way, I kind of, in my head too, it helps if you know what kind of pen you're looking for, if it's a rare one that you're not going to see a whole lot of, because I'm a very visual person, so sometimes if I see something, then I kind of like know what I'm looking for. So I think I would definitely have an idea in my head and just kind of be like, okay, what kind of pens have been manufactured and are out there?
Yeah.
And what's the likelihood that I'm going to find it?
And the last piece too is I would definitely a legit tip, time limit. Put a time limit on it, because like we were there for a good like 3 or 4 hours, just like scoping through. So, limit yourself a little bit. It might make the experience funner because you're a little more focused.
And I think next time we do this, we're definitely going to check out a few other pen locations too.
Agree. We're definitely going to check out the flea markets for sure and see if there's anything like available there, because we didn't have the opportunity to do that this time.
Yeah, it was just on a spur trip.
It was an amazing experience, and definitely check out that video where we actually do it on Lostgirlintomorrowland on YouTube.
So that is going to end our Awkward Chats podcast preview.
So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
And ring that notification bell so you get notified when we do at least 3 videos a week.
And we'll come and get y'all for the next one.
Ain't that the truth? Baby rude.
Bye, everybody.
For those on the podcast, we'll be back in 1 second.
We just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for watching this video. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, would you please consider hitting that subscribe button, as it helps us reach a wider audience and helps our channel grow even further. To those of you who are already subscribed to the channel, we just wanted to say a huge thank you for always being there and supporting our channel. We cannot wait to take you guys on our next adventure, so we'll see you guys in the next one.